hormone. The real kicker when it comes to protein in the context of you burning body fat is that when you consume protein, your body is going to actively burn fats and build lean muscle, which is the goal, right? That's the goal. If you're trying to lose weight and drop dress size, you're trying to burn body fat. Okay, so when you eat protein, your body's going to actively burn the fats that you've got for fuel, because of course our body's always looking for fuel to burn. Just like when a car, you get in your car and you start driving it, it needs petrol, otherwise it's not going to work. That it's the same premise with your body. You're moving around, you're cleaning your house, you're cleaning your kitchen. I'm talking to you now live and I'm using energy. Maybe I'm going to go out for a walk, I'm using more energy. You're always using energy, right? And that energy comes from glycogen storage. Glycogen storage is in your fats, okay, and it's also in your foods, depending on the foods you're eating. So if I'm eating protein, what's going to happen, and it's low GI, which it's going to be, right? What's going to happen is my body is going to burn existing fats for fuel because it's looking for a fuel storage. If, like Sarah over here, we'll give a different example, she's having a starchy carb. So let's say Sarah's having a bowl of cereal or a pastry, a pain au chocolat, a crumpet, a slice of toast, or it's lunch and she's having pasta, or she's having a sandwich, or she's having a jacket potato. She's having a starchy carb, right? What happens is starchy carbs are sugars, essentially. So your body is going to use that for fuel instead of existing fat stores. Okay, so Sarah has that bowl of cereal. Let's say her bowl of cereal is the same calories as this or less. This is an example of it's not as simple as calories in, calories out, right? Let's say she's having this bowl of cereal and I'm having this. What's going to happen with me is my body's actively burning fats. What's happening with Sarah is her body's using some of the cereal for fuel. Thank you for all the love on here, by the way. So if it's using the cereal for fuel, the existing fats are still remaining, okay, even if the calories are the same or less, right? And, oh, I don't know what that is. I'll answer your questions afterwards because I get distracted. Sarah's having the bowl of cereal. Okay, she's spiking her insulin levels. Her body's no longer burning fats, it's burning the cereal for fuel. And unless Sarah's running a marathon or doing, intense exercise, she's an athlete, then what's happening with that cereal is the remainder of that cereal that's not burnt off is going to existing fat storage and adding to it. Okay, so it makes a huge difference in terms of what you are eating within the calorie range. It's not as simple as calories in, calories out. Like, it matters what is in the calorie range. Okay, so that's what protein's going to do in your body. You want protein every single time you eat if you're trying to burn body fat. At least 100 grams a day. That's really easy to do unless you're vegan, okay? So if you eat meats and fishes and dairy, it's really easy, and eggs, really easy. Okay, like for example, there's 30 grams of protein in here, which is actually a vegan protein powder. So you could totally, still get it if you're vegan, but it's just, you just have to think about it even more. I'm not vegan, but it's a vegan protein powder. You could have any kind of protein powder that you like. You're aiming for a clean one, by the way. But let's say I've got 30 grams of protein here, okay, in the protein powder. I need at least another 70 throughout the day because you want a minimum of 100 grams. So I've got 2 more meals to go yet, right? So my lunch, let's say I have a salad with some chicken, maybe like a boiled egg and a bit of hummus. That's going to pack in about 50, 60 grams of protein. So I'm already nearly at my daily quota, okay? And you can have more, by the way, minimum of 100 grams. So then if I come to have my dinner, let's say I have spaghetti bolognese, that's going to have like another 30, 40 grams. So I've gone over my 100 grams. So it's really easy to do if you're aware of the protein content and you're eating protein every time you eat, every meal. It's fairly easy to do. If you're vegan, you have to be a bit more conscious because obviously your tofu, your lentils, your black beans, your chickpeas, your protein powders, there's tons of different sources of protein available to you still, but obviously the protein content is lower. So it's just more about volume eating and getting more food in from your protein sources to enable you to get that 100 grams. Okay, so if you get my free guide, right, go up and get my free guide if you haven't already. That gives you a list of proteins and fiber and healthy fats, but the proteins, it tells you grams per item. It gives you a rough idea. So for example, a chicken breast is typically between 25 and 40 grams, depending on the size of it. So it could be a really small breast, a really big one, and then so that depends on how many grams is in there. But it's going to give you a ballpark idea. Like an egg is only 6 grams of protein. It's pretty low, so you wouldn't really want it on its own unless you were going to eat a ton more protein later in the day. Okay, you maybe have like egg white omelette to get more protein in there. So this is an example of protein, but protein is essential. If you're not getting enough protein, in your meals throughout the day, you're not burning body fat effectively, and it's doing you a disservice. Forget about calories in, calories out. Okay, the next piece of the puzzle is your fiber. So you can see I've got some apple, I've got some blueberries. This is my fiber. So fiber from your fruits and veggies. Like tons of people will say, yeah, well, you can get fiber from your bread, your pasta, your rice. Yes, you can. It has fiber in it, but it also has a ton of starches and sugars. It also has a real lack of nutrients, okay? So your fruits and veggies have got your vitamins, your minerals, your antioxidants. They're high in nutritional value, okay? But they also take away all the starches, okay? And also what's going to happen when you're having your fruits and veggies is it's going to help the protein to break down in your body. So we mentioned it was slow to digest when you have protein. If you're not getting your fruits and veggies with your protein, like let's say you suddenly start like eating a ton of meat and a ton of fish and all your protein sources, but you're having no fruits and veg, you're going to get bloated. You're going to become irregular because your body's not going to be able to break it down quick enough. So you need fiber for that reason as well, but you also need fiber to keep your gut clean because as we discussed at the beginning, if your body is out of balance, you're not actively burning fats. So if you are like bloated, if you're irregular, if you've got low mood, low energy, you've got breakouts on your skin, these are all indicators of imbalance in the gut. Okay, and sometimes it's really obvious, like we know we've got imbalance in the gut, like maybe it's diagnosed or maybe we're constantly bloated when we eat. They're really obvious indicators, but breakouts in your skin or just feeling like lull after your lunch and feeling like you need to pick me up, that's just what we associate as being like normal. We don't associate it as being an issue with our gut, right? So if our gut's off, we're having difficulty burning body fat, okay? In some cases, not burning body fat. So what happens with your fruits and veggies when you eat is it pulls everything through your digestive system. It keeps it clean, it keeps everything moving, okay? If you think about like when you do the dishes, okay? When you do the dishes, you use a soap to get the dirt off the plates, don't you? Like you could give it a rinse, right? And maybe in some cases, depending on what was on there, you'd rinse it off. Okay, but it wouldn't be fully clean. And if you kept doing that, you'd get build-up and it'd become sticky over time. The same goes with your gut. If you're not using fruits and veg every single day when you eat, it's little bits of it are breaking off and they're building up over time. So if you think about it like when you're having tea and biscuits every day, you don't think anything of that. You just think it's just tea and biscuits, like it's fine. Let's say that's the only processed food you have. You eat pretty well apart from that. But those tea and biscuits, if they haven't got, or not tea, but biscuits, they break off over time. And if you're doing that for a period of like 5, 10, 20 years, like most of us are doing things, the same things day in, day out, by the time we get to our 30s, our 40s, our 50s, that's built up, okay? And it's causing inflammation of the gut. And that's why we start to experience those things, because it's built up over time. Whereas if you're having your fruits and veggies, it's pulling that through. Okay, so I'm not endorsing having biscuits, crisps, chocolate if you're trying to burn body fat anyway. But if your fruits and veggies are going to pull everything through and keep it clean, it's going to keep you debloated, regular, your skin's going to be great, your mood's going to be great, you're not going to get that afternoon nap desire, okay, because your energy will be up. It's a knock-on effect. So fruits and veggies, your fibre from your fruits and veggies, pack that in. I don't count calories, I don't weigh my food, but I do eyeball my plate, right? So whatever I'm having, I will make sure the majority of my plate is protein and fibre. I'm looking to see if I've got an abundance of fruits and veggies and an abundance of protein. I'm not portioning it out, right? And then the third piece of the puzzle is healthy fats. Healthy fats are things like your nuts, your seeds, your nut butters, your oily fish, your avocado, your olive oil. These are examples. So weird, olive oil joined just as I said it. That's a cool username. In here I've got 4 walnuts that are crunched up, okay, inside the porridge. So I've got, as you may have guessed, it's a really small on ratio, 4 walnuts. Like it's nowhere near the amount of fruit I've got on here or the oats. So you want a small amount of healthy fat. It's essential for happy, healthy hormones, okay? So if you are in hormonal imbalance, it's even more essential, okay? But we've all got hormones, so we all need healthy fats every single time we eat, but we don't necessarily need to have, or we don't need an abundance of it. That would tip the balance of your plate. That would be a negative. Does that make sense? So you don't want to eliminate it, but you don't want to have too much of it. So the 4 walnuts in here is enough. I don't want like a big handful of nuts. That's way too much. Okay, I don't want like tons of seeds and nut butters and slatherings all over there. It's like nut butters, right? If you get 100% nut butter, obviously there's many benefits, right? But if you're using it as, say, like people will say, oh, I'm using it as protein, it's protein. It does have protein in it, but it is a fat store. It's a fat source, not a protein source. So in order for you to get some kind of protein from it, you'd have to have tons of it, right? You'd have to slather it on, but then you'd be having way too much fat. Okay, does that make sense? So you only want a tiny bit. If I was gonna have nut butter with this, instead of the nuts, I'd have like a tablespoon at the most, maybe even a teaspoon. You don't need any more than that. That's like enough. Same goes if you're having things like avocado and your olive oil. You only need a small amount, but you still need it for healthy, happy hormones, okay? So that's protein, fiber, healthy fats in combination. You bring in those together. That's creating balance in your body, because each of the areas is serving your body in a different way. It's giving your body what it needs. And that ultimately, over time, is going to bring balance to your hormone health, your gut health, and make your body receptive to the fat loss process and enable your body to actively burn fats. For some people, you're going to see those results pretty quickly. Okay, it depends on what's going on in your body, what your diet's already been like. But within from a few days to a week, you're going to see significant difference in your mood, your energy, your bloating, all of these different things. And ultimately, over the duration, you're going to burn body fat. And I will just touch on this because some people will be like, I'm going to weigh myself next week and see if I've lost weight. If you are actively burning body fat, you don't want to be weighing yourself, you want to be measuring yourself, which is why I always say I drop 3 dress sizes, right? Because that's what people mean. When they want to lose weight, they want to go down in size, right? Your body fat you're going to see in dress sizes. So when you get on the scale, you see as a reflection of 5 different things. It's a reflection of muscle, fats, digestive bulk, water retention, and inflammation. Water retention, digestive bulk, and inflammation are the things you can get rid of in 5 days on the 5-day reset, right? So we clear all of those things. So you're only left with fat and muscle. We trigger fat burning in the 5-day reset so that you've lost some fats in the 5 days, right? You trigger it because scientifically speaking, fat loss doesn't happen overnight. Like, you don't fluctuate with fats, you fluctuate with the first 3 areas. Okay, so what happens when you get to this 4th area, you get to the fats, you've lost your 5 to 7 pounds or more in 5 days, so you do weigh yourself for that element if you're doing the 5-day reset, right? But once you start burning body fat, what happens from day 6 is you're not going to weigh yourself or measure yourself for at least 30 days. Because it's a process in your body where the fat's breaking down, it's turning to liquid, it's leaving the fat cell's tightening up. So most people give up. Most people weigh themselves after 2 days or a week and they go, it's not working. But it's actually occurring in your body if you're doing the right things. It is happening for you, but it's a process. So you have to be consistent and be disciplined with the process. It's not just going to come off overnight, apart from those 3 areas of weight which we can get rid of with the 5-day reset, okay, which is going to accelerate your results. But afterwards, you're measuring every 30 days. Get rid of the scales, it will just deflate you. You'll just think you're not getting anywhere and you'll give up and you'll have a day off and it will just impede your process. So just do, follow the things I'm going to share with you, be consistent with them, measure now if you're starting today and measure again in 30 days. You're going to start to see a difference in inch loss. That's where you're going to see fats. Not to mention if you work out, right? Even if you don't work out, when you burn body fat, you build lean muscle. So on the scale, you could effectively drop 1 or 2 dress sizes and not really see a difference on the scale, okay? Because your muscle's becoming heavier. If you're working out, it's definitely becoming heavier. Okay, so scales, you want to ditch the scales and measure for fat loss. Super simple. Just been on holiday, starting my 5-day plan again tomorrow. Liz, if you want to get in the reset group, personal message me. We have a new reset group every Monday through Friday, so you're welcome to come in again if you want to. Okay, so what was I saying? So protein, fiber, healthy fats every single time you eat. You can get my free guide if you haven't already got it. You go up here, tap my face, brings me up halfway, double tap to go out. You're going to see my main profile on my webpage. Tap on my webpage. You're going to see my free guide at the top. You literally just put your email address in. It's going to go right to your inbox. You'll instantly have it. It has examples of protein, fiber, healthy fats. They're all low GI. Low GI basically just means real food. There are some foods that fall outside of that are real foods, but generally speaking, it's your real foods because you don't want to spike your insulin. If you spike your insulin, you're not burning body fat, okay? So they're examples. Those lists are not exhaustive. There are more foods in the world than I've listed that you could fit into those categories. It's just to give you a head start, okay? There are also all the other tips in there that I'm going to share next. So if you have to go, get the free guide. And also in the back of the free guide, is an LINK, can't say the word on here, to my free private group over on FB. The free private group is my wellness group. We're starting a new challenge tomorrow. It's not the 5-day reset, that's separate, okay? But in the wellness group, we do free challenges every other week. So we have a new one starting tomorrow, okay? So you're more than welcome to come into that. As I said, the LINK is in the back of the free guide. There's also an LINK to my recipe book, okay? So if you want like a done-for-you approach, so you want to start eating protein, fibre, healthy fats, you've got your free guide, you can totally do it with that, right? But if you want a done-for-you approach, so you want to just open up a book and go, right, what can I have for tea? What can I have for breakfast? I'll have that. And know that it falls in line, then this is for you. So my recipe book is 30 recipes of, it's called Things I Eat on Repeat. It's the foods that I ate to lose the weight, right? So it's the meals I ate. There's 30 recipes, they're all protein, fibre, healthy fats, they're all low GI, and there's 10 snack ideas. So that's something you can get if you want to just have a done-for-you approach. It's everything I ate on repeat during my process to lose weight, and it's the meals I still eat now to keep it off. Like, it's yummy foods, it's very simple to follow, like it's not complicated with tons of ingredients, because although I love food, I don't love to cook, okay, believe it or not, even though I talk about food all day, every day. But this is just a simple approach, so you can just open up the book and pick whatever you like. But anyway, let's move on to, I'll see if I just missed any questions quickly. I think I answered them. Could I share what's in my breakfast bowl again? I have protein oats, so I've got regular oats mixed with a protein powder and water, okay. I wouldn't have the oats on their own if I'm trying to burn body fat, okay? Or just generally, because it's going to spike my insulin. And then I've got, for my fibre, blueberries and apple, and then there's some crunched up walnuts in the oats for my healthy fat. So Zoe, my recipe book is a combination of different things, because it's the things that I eat, and I'm not vegetarian, I'm not vegan, but I am predominantly plant-based, so there's a ton of like veggie options in there. You could tweak it. So for example, if I make something that's like a chicken dish in there, you could switch that out for tofu, for sure. Like you could just switch the sauce that goes with it, if that makes sense. You'll find a ton of variety in there, lots of different options, and you could tweak it. If you're vegetarian, you'll know, like, what do you normally do if you make a spaghetti bolognese? You'd tweak, you'd swap it for like lentils or corn or whatever you want to do. So yes, you could tweak them for sure. I think I answered the other questions. Thank you, Jen. That's very nice of you. Daily habits, absolutely. It's all about consistency. What should you do if you've been stuck in a weight loss plateau for a month? I would recommend the 5-day reset for sure. The 5-day reset shakes up your metabolism. Okay, if I'd have had this back 7 years ago, I would have started with this for sure. Okay, so the 5-day reset is going to reset your metabolic rate. It does what it says on the tin. You're giving your body exactly what foods it needs for a period of 5 days, as in from the perspective of science, nourishing it in the right way, giving it what it needs to bring balance. That enables your body to naturally let go of all the things that are holding you back and keeping you in that plateau. So the digestive bulk, the water retention, the inflammation, and it starts the fat burning process for it. So think of it as like an ignition, like it ignites the process, and then you can get back onto burning body fat effectively. You do get a free continuation plan with my 5-day reset, by the way. So for those of you that have already downloaded it, I can see tons of you downloading it over here. When it goes into your inbox, you've got the 5-day reset, you've got the plan in front of you, you've got the lists, you've got meal ideas, okay? And then from page 8 or 9, I think it is, it gives you the continuation plan. So it shows you what you're going to do from day 6 if you want to continue burning body fat. But if you get that, please personal message me if you want the guided support. You do get free guided support with that, but you do need to personal message me. I won't come and message you, if that makes sense. Angela, my recipes are in the same place. Everything's up here, so tap my face, brings me up halfway, double tap to go out. You're going to see my main profile, my webpage. Tap on my webpage, you'll see my free guide at the top. Then it's the 5-day reset, it's called the 5-day glow up. Then it's my recipes. There's only 3 options in there. All of it goes directly to your inbox. It's instant while I'm talking to you now. You don't need to wait for me to send it or anything like that. Same goes with FB. If you're watching on FB, main profile is my webpage. The only difference is on FB, you can't do it while I'm on live. So you have to come out of the live or wait till after to go and access it. But everything's there in the same way. Okay, so let's move on to tip number 2. So we've got protein, fibre, healthy fats. One last thing, let me give you a quick example. So we spoke about Sarah and the comparison of her having the starchy carb, right? So what happens in your body when you have protein, fibre, healthy fats, especially for your first meal of the day, whether your first meal of the day is breakfast or lunch, whatever routine you have, doesn't, do what suits you, okay? But when you break that fast, whether it's morning or lunch, what goes into your body will dictate whether or not you spike your insulin levels. Okay, you don't want to do that. You don't want to spike your insulin. When you've been to sleep and you're well rested and your body's, done its job of rejuvenating overnight, everything's in balance. There's going to be some exceptions to the rule. If you've got medical conditions, maybe it's not going to be perfect, but generally speaking, your body's in balance, right? It's effectively a fat burning machine, because you've not been feeding it all night, okay? So what you put into your body dictates whether or not you spike those insulin levels. So if you start your day with protein, fibre, healthy fats, you've got that balance, you're going to maintain that balance in your body. It's going to stay in fat burning mode. If you start your day with a starchy carb, whether it's breakfast or lunch, okay, immediately you spike your insulin levels. So if you're having cereal, toast, crumpets, pastries, pasta, jacket potato, sandwich, all the obvious things that most people will eat every single day, immediately you spike your insulin levels, even if the calories are lower than this, right? Okay, you spike your insulin. If you spike your insulin, your body's not burning fats. Your body's using the food for fuel, and you're hungry an hour later, you've got sugar cravings. With this, your body's burning fats actively. You're satisfied till lunch, you can keep going. You've not got food noise, you've not got sugar cravings. So there's a vast difference between the two things. It isn't as simple as calories in, calories out. Obviously, calories can have an impact, right? But if you're eating garbage, it's still not going to do the job that you're looking for. Does that make sense? Anyway, let's move on. I could talk about food all day, as you might have guessed. Thank you for the love over here, by the way, on TikTok. I appreciate it. So tip number 2, water intake. Did you know that your body cannot physically burn fats if you're not adequately hydrated? I did not know that. Okay, I did not know that. Hi Laura, I've paid for the 5-day plan, hoping to start tomorrow but not received anything. You will have received it, Jules. It's instant. So if you can't see it, so go into your email, okay? The only reason you would have not received it is if the email address you've put in is like got a typo in it or something like that. But other than that, it's going to be in your spam or your junk. If you still can't find it after going into your spam or your junk, search laurafernbusinesscoach@gmail.com in your email and it should bring it up. If you still can't find it, personal message me in FB Messenger with the email address that you used to place the order, and I'll be able to see on the back end if there's like a typo or anything like that, and I can resend it to you. But it is instant. For most people that can't see it, it's just that it's gone into the junk or the spam. So just check that out. Okay, where were we? So, did you know that your body cannot physically burn fats if you're not adequately hydrated? I did not know that 7 years ago. And I was living on English breakfast tea, right? So I was working in an office at that point, doing a 9 to 5. You'll know if you've been in that environment, someone's always making a cuppa. Like, you take turns all day, don't you? And the worse the job is, the more people make cups of tea because you're getting up to excuse yourself from doing your job. So before you know it, the bigger the office, the more tea you've drank. So I used to get to I'd do my 9 to 5 and I'd get to 5 o'clock and I would have drank copious amounts of tea, at least 13 cups of tea in a day. Like, that was normal, okay? And then I'd get home, sort the kids out, sort the house out, do all the things, get everyone in bed, clean my kitchen, and I'd sit down with a glass of wine because I've had a stressful day, right? So I'm just drinking diuretics all day, every day. Never did I ever drink water. Like, sometimes maybe if I was gasping for a drink, but very rare. Okay, for the most part, I'm drinking tea and occasionally some wine, right? So I'm dehydrating myself all day. What happens in your body is it cannot go through the process of lipolysis. If your body cannot go through the process of lipolysis, which is fat burning, you're not burning body fat, okay? And it requires adequate hydration. So how do you get that in, and what is adequate hydration? Let's break it down. Let's make it really simple. See if my tea's cooled down. You have to get this hibiscus tea. If you like cordial and you're trying to cut cordial out, get hibiscus tea. It tastes like blackcurrant. And it's nice cold or hot. So, especially with ice, if you do like an iced tea, that's nice. So, hydration, right? So if you go into ChatGPT or Google and search like, how much water should I be drinking? You're going to see a ton of different recommendations come up. You're going to see the NHS, Bupa, Harvard University, tons of different tons of different university studies. You're going to see all the different recommendations, but they all boil down to the same thing. So just use whichever method you prefer. I prefer the accurate method, which is a university study, and it is in my free guide, because with the NHS, for example, it will say have 8 glasses of water. Well, what size is the glass? It's vague, okay? So I like to know exactly. So I've used the university study, but you can use whatever method you like, right? So the university study that's in my guide says half your body weight in ounces of water each and every single day, plus more on top if you're drinking tea, coffee, pop, anything that's a diuretic. So let me give you an example of that in case that just flew straight over your head, because it did for me the first time. Okay, the breakdown is in my free guide. Get my free guide if you haven't got it. Take your weight in pounds. So let's say you weigh 100 pounds. You're going to half it. 50 ounces of water, okay, that you need for adequate hydration. Let's say you weigh 200 pounds, you're gonna half it, you need 100 ounces of water for your body weight. Let's say you weigh 160 pounds, you're gonna half it, you need 80 ounces of water. So you take your body weight in pounds, you're gonna half it, that's how many ounces of water you need for adequate hydration. If you are like in the UK like me or Europe and you don't work on ounces, you could just convert that in Google or ChatGPT. So just ask it like what is 50 ounces in pints or litres, so you know. And then you get yourself a fancy cup and know what it holds, right? So this is really, really important, because if you haven't got your fancy cup that looks appealing, it could be a Stanley cup, it could be like the fake version from Tesco, whatever you like, something with a straw, something that's portable. No, does this hold a litre? Does it hold half a litre? Like how much does it hold? So you know how many times you've got to refill it. Okay, so you're going to take that fancy cup and you're going to know how many times you've got to refill it during the day to be able to get that water in. If you've not got the fancy cup, you're not going to stay on track, because we're all busy, aren't we? Like, we're super busy. You might be a stay-at-home mum and you're like racing around like a headless chicken all day. You're doing all the errands. You're not going to drink your water if you've not got something portable. You might be a doctor or a nurse. You might be doing shifts. If you've not got something with you, you're going to go off track. You might work in an office and you get called to a meeting. If you've not got your water bottle, you're going to go off track. So set yourself up for success with something portable. And then this is really the key, okay? Setting timers on your phone. This is the key, honestly. Like, it's like when you learn to ride a bike or drive a car or master any kind of new habit. Like, you don't just know what to do and continue to do it. Like, you have to develop the habit and be conscious of it. Your phone, within a 12-hour range to go off every 3 hours, is going to remind you to drink the water, so that you don't get to the end of the day and go, I've still got that big litre on the litre of water on the desk and I've not touched it. Because if you do that, you're going to think, well, it's 6 o'clock now. I'm not going to drink it now because I'll be up all night going to the toilet. So I'll just wait until tomorrow, or I'll wait until Monday, or I'll wait until January. Like, you're just going to put it off. Okay, so your 12-hour window is the waking window for you from when you wake up. It's going to look different for you as it would for me maybe, okay? So I wake up at 6. I know I'm getting up at 6. I've got the school run. So I go from 6 until 6. 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. is my window. And in that window, every 3 hours, my alarm's going to go off. Okay, and I'm going to refill my cup. So again, it's going to be based on the amount of water you need. For me, I do a pint every 3 hours. Okay, you may need more, you may need less. Like, work out how much you need and divide it up into the day. But my alarm goes off at 6. I'm having a pint of water. I'm refilling it again at 9. This is my refill from 9 o'clock. Okay, and I'm going to refill it again at 12. And I'm going to refill it again at 3. Okay, and I'm going to down that. I like to down it on my first glass of the day when I wake up in the morning, because obviously you've been eliminating toxins overnight, your liver's been busy, so it just kind of gives it that double flush. But you can totally sip it. Like a pint over 3 hours, okay, is less than half a pint an hour. Like, anyone can do that. But when you think about 2 big litres, you're like, I'm not going to get that in. How am I going to get that in? I don't even like water. Like, you're just going to talk yourself out of it. So break it down, set alarms, do the do. You're going to feel amazing for it, because we all know our bodies are predominantly made of water. So we need it anyway for the function of our body to feel alert, to function properly. Like, most people I speak to are like, I'm tired, I've got low energy. Like, it's classed as normal now because everyone feels like that. For the most part, it's dehydration and eating a load of junk that makes us feel like that. It's not just that that's the way it is. Like, we can change it, okay? So drinking your water is going to be great for your skin, it's going to be great for your mood, your energy, and it's going to enable your body to effectively burn fats. If you hate water, I always get some people that say they hate water, right? Yes, is it the most exciting drink? No, but think about what it's doing for you first of all, because if you think about what it's doing for you, you're gonna have more of a desire for it. But you can go with plain water with lemon. I always have lemon in it just because I love lemon. You could have lime, you could have mint, you could have cucumber, you could have any kind of fresh fruits in there. You could have sparkling water, you could have herbal teas. Like this hibiscus tea will count towards my water intake. Your regular teas, your diuretics, so your tea, your coffee, your pop, anything that's a diuretic, okay, you need to replace with more. So let's say this was an English breakfast tea, I would need an additional cup of water after I've had this on top of my regular intake to replace what I've lost, if that makes sense. Jules, I'm glad that you found it. Please personal message me if you want to get in the Reset group. It starts tomorrow, but you need to personal message me in FB Messenger, okay? So once you do that, I can get you into that group because it's on Messenger. So if you message me on here, first of all, I'm not going to see it, but second of all, I'm just going to say, come over here. Come and find me in FB Messenger. I'm live now on FB as well at the same time. So if you look at my profile, if I'm live, you know it's the right profile. It's not a fake one. It is also verified so that you know that it's real, because there are some fake ones. Mint and cucumber, that's a good combo. I never thought of doing that. That makes sense. Like, have you tried like the watermelon salad with the cucumber and the mint? That's really good. That makes so much sense. I'm going to try that. So, water intake, really important. Your body will not go through the process of lipolysis without it. You're going to feel amazing for it. Make sure you pack it in. Also, if you get it in that 12-hour window, the beauty is you've got it done by 6 p.m, for example. You've got like 4 hours before bed, 3-4 hours. You're not going to be waking up to go to the toilet all night. No one wants to be doing that. Okay, some people also say like, yeah, I'm going to be more regular though. I'm going to be going to the toilet all the time. Okay, yes, you are going to be going more frequently. That's a good thing because you're flushing toxins out your body. It's not a negative thing. So just reframe the way you think about it. But also, okay, if you are going too much, okay, then that suggests a lack of electrolytes. If you're going like every 5 minutes, then you shouldn't be doing that. Okay, so if you're going every 5 minutes, literally, not just like metaphorically, if you're going once every half an hour or so, that's normal, okay? But if you're going like every 5 minutes, that's a lack of electrolytes. There's a number of things you can do for that. There are supplements you can get out there like electrolyte packs, okay? And just follow the instruction on the pack, depending on which brand you get as to how you take that. But what I will do for electrolytes is have salt and lemon water. So I don't do this like all the time because I will just have salt on my food anyway. Obviously not on this type of breakfast, but if I was having eggs, for example, I'd have salt on there. This is going to give you the minerals you need, the electrolytes back that you need. It needs to be a real salt. This is a sea salt. You could do Himalayan pink salt. You could do Celtic sea salt. They're the brands I like. You could go with any brand, right? It doesn't have to be that brand. But you're going for a real salt that's going to replenish. Okay, I have it with a lemon water. So like if I'm doing something like I'm dog, right, and it was boiling hot, I know like myself that I'm likely to get a migraine if I overexert myself like before I've eaten, right? So I'll have like a pinch of the salt under my tongue, lemon water, and that will give me back the electrolytes that I've lost through perspiration, through pacing in this heat, okay? But follow people like Barbara O'Neill, Dr. Gary Brecker, because they are actual doctors that can advise on the salt method. That's where I've got this tip from Barbara O'Neill. Okay, so follow people like that, or you can get the electrolyte packs. But generally speaking, you get your electrolytes from your fruits and veggies. So if you are getting enough fruits and veggies, you shouldn't be going to the loo every 5 seconds. Okay, typically it's because of a lack of electrolytes. I think I just missed a question. I don't know actually, Melanie. I've never heard that, put salt in your coffee. I don't know if that tastes very nice. 4 litres of water is 8 pints of water, be careful. Yeah, I mean, I don't drink what's relative to your body weight. So if your body weight requires 4 litres, that's different. For me, it's 2 litres. And then I have up to 3 litres if I'm drinking tea and coffee and diuretics. So we're not suggesting that you drink more water than your body needs. That's a different thing. Yes, you can have sparkling water. Does decaf count towards your water intake? Yes, but I wouldn't like... I think it does to a degree. I think there's an alarm going off upstairs. Is anyone up there? like your decaf coffee and your decaf tea is not going to take water from your body, but I would say your herbal teas, your water, your sparkling water are the better options for hydration. Because when you have a decaf coffee or a decaf tea, the process by which they decaffeinate it means it's still got some garbage in there, right? So it's not ideal. It makes it taste sweeter. I've never heard that. Okay, interesting. Okay, so tip number 3. Let's move on. My dad has a pinch of salt in his coffee. Interesting. You learn something new every day. Now everyone's doing it. I'd never heard that before. But you can do it however you like. Obviously, do it however you like. If you like it like that, then do it like that. I've not heard that that's a detrimental thing. It's the first time I've heard it. But definitely follow like Barbara O'Neill, Dr. Gary Breckett if you don't already, because they're going to give you like more of the science behind it in terms of the salt. Okay, so tip number 3 is sleep. Did you know that a lack of sleep, so a lack of sleep is defined as less than 7 to 9 hours, especially for women. Okay, did you know that if you have that lack of sleep, you deregulate the hormones ghrelin and leptin? So again, back to hormones, right? If your hormones are off, you're not burning body fat. Super important. So there's a ton of reasons why we don't get enough sleep, but if we don't get enough sleep, we're deregulating those hormones. What does that actually mean? What it means is they are the hormones that are responsible for appetite control. So simply put, the next day you're more inclined to make poorer choices with food. So for example, we're on the weekend, right? Maybe you had a little tipple last night because it's the weekend. That's going to interrupt your sleep. So even if you feel like you've been in bed for 8, 9, 10 hours and you've had a good lie in because you were knocked out, that sleep will have been disturbed because of that tipple, right? So that affects ghrelin and leptin. So in this example, what happens is the next day you wake up and you're craving all the things, aren't you? You're like, I feel like I need something to soak it up. I feel like I need a full English. I need a takeout. I need to go to the drive-through. You're getting that urge because ghrelin and leptin are switched off. The same goes even if you've not had that and you've had a lack of sleep. You got up really early, you've had a lack of sleep because of perimenopause, menopause, PCOS, because you've got a small baby, because your husband snores, because it was too hot last night. Like there's a ton of reasons. You've had a lack of sleep. Ghrelin and leptin are switched off. They're asleep the next day, okay? These two little guys, ghrelin and leptin, are asleep. They're not telling you to make better choices. So what you do is you wake up and you wake up metaphorically speaking on the wrong side of bed and you think, right, well, I'm just gonna sack it off today. I really don't feel like it. I'm not in the mood for like putting together a good breakfast or a good lunch. What I'm thinking is I'm just gonna put a crumpet in because I'm late for work. I'm gonna have a slice of toast. I'm gonna get a bowl of cereal, it's easy. Books, you know, I'm gonna go to the drive-through, I'm gonna have a full English fry up. Like you make poorer choices. So because you make that poorer choice first thing in the day, you immediately spike your insulin levels, you're no longer burning fat, and you've got all the cravings. So you eat that, but you're still not satisfied. You've had the crumpet, you've had the pastry, you've had the cake, right? An hour later, you want more. You want biscuits with your tea. You want a packet of crisps while you're waiting for your lunch. Okay, and then you get to lunch and you're starving, so you're making your roast and you're eating the roast potatoes and picking at things while you're making it, right? And you overconsume. Okay, so on average, the average person overconsumes by up to 400 calories. Some people are obviously going to overconsume by a lot more, but that's the average. So if you think of like 400 calories in excess, if you're doing that every day, because we're bearing in mind we're talking about if you're getting a lack of sleep every single day. If you're over-consuming every single day, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year, obviously you are going to gain weight, okay? So it makes a huge difference, and it makes a difference on the way that your day pans out because of a lack of sleep. So how do we get enough sleep in? Because you might be thinking, well, it's all right for you to say, Laura, but I can't do that. If you have a small baby, you don't have any control over that. The baby is in control. That's the only one thing I can't help you with, right? The other things, okay, so maybe it's like menopause, perimenopause, PCOS, something hormonal, and you may think I can't stay asleep, I don't get a good quality of sleep. This is really common, obviously, but when you implement protein, fiber, healthy fats, low GI, and you hydrate, that is going to affect the balance of your hormones, and that's going to have a knock-on effect on your sleep, a positive knock-on effect on your sleep. Other things you can do are cut caffeine from 3 p.m. and replace it with herbal teas, or just water, or just not have any more caffeine, okay? But I like to replace it with chamomile. It's like a double whammy. You're taking away the caffeine, but you're adding in something that's going to relax you at the same time. Okay, by doing that, you're going to sleep better, getting the caffeine out of your system. You could go with any herbal tea. It could be peppermint, ginger, dandelion, hibiscus, like any kind of herbal tea. The point being is you're taking away the caffeine. Another thing you can do a to-do list. This is scientifically proven that if you offload all of the nonsense you've got into your head onto a to-do list, okay, I'm not saying it's, you know, that your head's personally filled with nonsense, but mine is at like 11 at night if I've not done a to-do list. I'm thinking about, oh, I've got to do the food shop, I've got to pick the kids up, I didn't clean the kitchen in the same way I wanted to, I didn't put that load of washing in. I'm thinking about irrelevant things that I can't do anything about at that time of night, right? So offload all of that stuff onto a to-do list. It is scientifically proven that if you offload what's in your head, that could also be journaling if you're stressed out. If you offload, you're going to sleep better because you've got it out of your head. You've put it to one side. You're not thinking about it. You know you're going to action that list tomorrow. Okay, that's another thing you can do. Also, magnesium glycinate is absolutely spectacular as a supplement if you are in menopause, perimenopause, you're struggling through sleep that way. Amazing to have before bed. You can find it in TikTok shop or Amazon or just Google it. Magnesium glycinate is an amazing supplement. I don't have a specific brand I can recommend. Other things you can do. This part's really important and this all falls under the umbrella of stress. Okay, if you are stressed, your cortisol levels are up. If your cortisol levels are up, you're not burning body fat, you're not sleeping. So the goal is to bring those cortisol levels down. The optimal way to do that is to exercise. It's not the only way, so don't panic if you can't exercise, okay? But exercise is the optimal way because when you exercise, and so you can exercise in any number of ways. So don't think that you've got to go join a gym or do a fancy class or get all the gear. You don't have to do anything extreme. But if you start implementing exercise at least 10 minutes a day and you make it a habit, okay, because otherwise you'll become overwhelmed. If you think I've got to go to the gym or spend an hour, you'll just end up not doing it if you're not currently doing any, right? So start small, pick 10 minutes and pick something that generally brings you joy or things that you know you can fit in and you can do no matter what, right? It could be laps around your dining room table. It could be laps up and down the stairs. It could be tins of beans out your cupboard and you're doing reps, okay? You could be doing a YouTube video in your living room for free. It could be yoga. It could be any kind of exercise you like. You maybe want to go for a swim, go for a walk, go for a run. I wouldn't go for a run if you're in menopause, perimenopause. You want to do like things like low resistance, weights, walking, that type of thing. Obviously, if it doesn't bother you going for a run, you could totally do that, but it tends to have an impact on your cortisol in that scenario, generally speaking. But choose the exercise you like. If you love going to the gym and you already do that, do that. If you love doing HIIT classes and you're getting the benefit, then do that. But what I'm saying is it doesn't have to be intense. The point is moving your body. It's going to reduce cortisol levels. You're going to sleep better. You're going to be in a better mood. It's going to be an all-round win-win. Let's say you can't exercise. Maybe you're immobile, you've got a sporting injury. There's a physical reason you can't do it. Other things you can do, okay, and everybody that can exercise can do these as well in addition, okay, is take a bath instead of a shower. Use bath salts, magnesium bath salts. It's not only going to relax you, it's going to draw all the toxins out of you, it's going to give you 10 minutes to shut the door away from everything else, to switch off. You could even do double whammy and put your AirPods in and listen to a good podcast or book at the same time, reducing that stress load. Okay, other things you can do is hang out with people that you care about, that bring you joy, watch a good TV show, read a good book, watch a good movie, hang out with your pets, like meditate, journal, do a gratitude list. Like there's tons of things you could do. You're focusing on bringing joy intentionally to your life every single day. I don't mean have a glass of wine, right? Bringing joy to your life 10 minutes a day, taking that 10 minutes for you. You're going to actively reduce those cortisol levels, which means your body is then burning fats, you're sleeping better. It's all a knock-on effect. Obviously, up it if you can and do more if you can. But if you focus on the 10 minutes in the beginning, it's going to be doable for you. It's not, you can't make excuses. If you've been watching me for this live, you've got 10 minutes to fit something in. Fit it in where it suits you, but it's going to have a positive impact on the rest of your day or your evening. Super important. Okay, so those are my top tips when it comes to losing weight and dropping dress size. Those are the 3 lifestyle changes that I implemented that took me from stuck for 4 years and not getting anywhere to unstuck, losing the weight and keeping it off for the last 7 years. What you need to bear in mind with fat loss is 80% of fat loss is what you do and don't consume. Supplements Exercise, the other 20% are your additional tools. They're phenomenal, right? If you get some good supplements, they can be phenomenal. They can accelerate your results. They can get you there quicker. If you're working out all the time and you're getting some good exercise, it's phenomenal for your health and well-being to accelerate everything, but they are not replacements for the first 80%. Okay, if your food's not on point, you're not hydrated, that's not going to do anything. Okay, you can't out exercise a bad diet. You could exercise all week, every day, and if you're not eating the right foods, your hormones are all going to be off, your gut's going to be off, you're going to have all these other issues going on. Okay, so the majority of fat loss is what you do and don't consume. Hydration, nutrition, super important. The other things are your accelerators that get you there faster, that enhance your efforts. So last but not least, before I go, I hope you found value in this. Get my free guide if you've missed any of this, you've just tuned in, you've not yet got it, or you want a recap, you want to take it away, print it off, give yourself some good value for the next 7 days and make some progress. Get my free guide, it's up here. Tap my face, it brings me up halfway, double tap to go out, you'll see my main profile and my webpage. Tap on my webpage, my free guide is right at the top. Same premise for FB, it's just that you can't do it while I'm live. My webpage is in my profile. The free guide is right at the top. You literally just put your email address in and it comes right to your inbox. It's completely free. It's got all the tips and tricks in that I've shared with you today. It's got an LINK in the back of it to my wellness group. We're starting a new free challenge tomorrow, which you're welcome to come join us for. This is not the 5-day reset that I'm talking about. The wellness group is a separate thing, but everybody's welcome in there. It's for free. Okay, second thing, if you're doing the 5-day reset, if you want to drop 5 to 7 pounds in the next 5 days, that starts tomorrow as well. That's in a separate place. It's in a guided chat, okay? So if you want to do that, that's the second option up here in my webpage. You tap on it, you'll see the free guide. The second option is the 5-day glow up. It's £22. There's no catch, okay? You don't pay anything else. It's £22. It's not a subscription. It's yours for life once you get it. You pay £22, goes right to your inbox. In your inbox, you're going to have the 5-day plan that tells you exactly how to drop 5 to 7 pounds in 5 days or more, okay? And you also get a continuation plan in that same booklet for free to show you how to continue burning body fats afterwards if you want to do that. That's all in for 22. If you want my free guided support with it, which you get as well, you need to reach out to me in Facebook Messenger. Really important. I won't see it if it is in TikTok or if it's in Instagram or email or anything like that, because I get a ton of spam messages that I have to sift through. And obviously time is of the essence. Okay, time is of the essence because the next one starts tomorrow. So that group is open now for preparation. Okay, so right now there's already a group of women in there that have got access to all the meal ideas and all of the tips already for this coming week. So get in there ASAP, personal message me in FB Messenger. I will add you to that chat as long as you have got as long as I've verified your email and you've got the 5-day reset, okay? And I'll guide you through it. So you've got me basically in your back pocket for the next 5 days taking you through it. That group stays open at the end of it. So we've just had a batch of ladies finish, okay, and they finished, they're now on day 7, so they're doing the continuation plan. That group stays open and I continue to help you. That's all in for £22. There's no catch, no subscription. The third option is the recipe book. There's only 3 options in there. That's if you want a done-for-you approach with protein, fibre, healthy fats that I was sharing in the beginning. So that is 30 recipes and 10 snack ideas. It's all the things that I ate on repeat to lose the weight and keep it off for the last 7 years. So if you want a done-for-you approach, maybe you don't want to have to think up what you're going to eat. You just want to open a book and go, right, I'm having that for lunch. That's going to give you a meal that contains protein, fibre, healthy fats. It's low GI and it's on track with your goals. It's aligning with your goals. You've sent a message in Messenger but not heard anything. Bon, what's your name on there? It may be that it's gone into my spam and I'll check it. So yesterday I was in Facebook jail and I couldn't pick up any messages until like 4 o'clock yesterday. So I have got a bit of a backlog, but I will be going through those this morning to make sure everyone's in the groups. So that could be it. It could be in spam or it could just be that I'm catching up and I haven't seen it yet. I was stopped for like 24 hours from responding to anything because I was having too many conversations, basically. I'm glad you've got the free guide, Deborah. AJXS, you still can't find the guide on how to join. It's up here. Tap my face here, brings me up halfway, double tap to go out. You'll see my main profile on my webpage. The webpage is like a little tiny paperclip and it says LINK. It's above all of my videos in my main TikTok profile. It's tiny. I don't make it that tiny. That's TikTok. You tap on it. When it pops up, you're going to see my webpage. My free guide is the first option. The 5-day glow up, the 5-day reset is the second option. The recipe book is the third option. There's only 3 options in there. I can see tons of people downloading it, so it's definitely working. Jackie, hopefully you heard that as well. You tap my face here, so see my little face in the corner, this little thumbnail. You tap that, you're going to see me pop up halfway. So double tap my face again, it's going to take you out of this live. You can still hear me talking, but you're going to see my main profile. In my main profile, you've got all my videos, you've got my face, you've got some blurb, and you've got a little paperclip logo and it says LINK. That's what you're going to tap on. What's the best collagen to take? At the moment, I'm going to be starting to talk about some new supplements next week. So I've been doing my research. So those of you that have followed me for a long time, you'll know I used to share supplements. Okay, about 9-10 weeks ago, up until 9-10 weeks ago, I've been sharing a range of supplements for years and years and years, right? Amazing non-toxic clean supplements, and then that company disappeared off the face of the earth overnight, and the products went, everything went. None of us knew it was going to happen. And so for the last 10 weeks or so, I've been a part of a brand new company that is just getting up and running. The products are phenomenal. They're like cutting edge, groundbreaking. They're going to blow the socks off of you when you see them and when you try them, but they are not yet available in the UK. Okay, so they're available in the US. They launched in the US on Thursday, US and Canada. So you can get them out there, but I will be bringing those to you over here in the UK later this year, because we have a ridiculous amount of regulations in this country and paperwork, as you can imagine. Ridiculous amount of paperwork to get through to get anything into the country. So it takes longer for us to get it. But in the meantime, I have been using personally some other supplements, because obviously I didn't have any of my supplements, and I didn't want to share those with you until I knew that they were going to get results. So this week I'll be sharing with you those supplements that you can get your hands on, and I will put some information up for you to check them out. I'll put them up in my stories, so make sure if you're not following me on FB and IG that you are, so that you can check out what's coming. You'll see everything in there. When you get the glow up, can you watch it anytime? That works for me. So the glow up, you get the plan, you've got the plan, and you've got everything you need in the plan. Even if you don't get hold of me and you don't get in the guided chat, you can still do it, because everything you need is in the plan, right? The guided support is in a messenger chat. So that's just open all the time. So if someone asks me a question, I'm just in there answering it, right? And I'm giving you tons of ideas. So you can just weave in and out of that when it suits you. Because obviously lots of people are at work. So lots of people won't interact in the day, they'll interact in the evening. So whatever suits you, it's really just there for you to access the information and ask questions. So you can do it, some people do it from a distance, they don't ever ask questions, they just observe and they utilize it in that context, get the meal ideas. Some people like to have a chat in there, like you can use it however you like. So it's not a set time, you can just come into the messenger chat and utilize it as you like. Once you've got your plan, you can do that. Same here, can't get in Messenger. What do you mean you can't get in Messenger? If you mean that you don't have FB, you don't need FB, you can just download the Messenger app and you can just personal message me in Messenger if you've ordered the 5-day reset, and then I can get you access. Some people do that because they're not on FB, just download the app purely to access the free guidance and then just delete it afterwards. Deborah, you're welcome. I think I just saw that. I think I've answered all of your questions now. Oh, Jackie, I'm glad you've got it. That's good. Okay, so I'm going to head off. Please make sure you personal message me if you've got the 5-day reset. I'm going to go through my messages now. I have got a backlog, so bear with me because of being in Facebook jail yesterday. And I will check my spam. For those of you that have messaged me and you're saying I've not responded, it could be in my spam. But bottom line is I'm going to get through everything that's over in Messenger and get everybody into that 5-day reset group in the next hour and a half. So you'll be in there, okay? So don't panic. And in the meantime, if you've got the 5-day reset, make sure you open it up, go through it with a fine tooth comb, okay? Because the key to your success is going to be to know what you're doing. I say this because there are some people that sometimes get it and then they open it Monday morning and go like, what the heck am I doing? The key to your success is preparation. Everybody that does this gets phenomenal results if they do it properly. Like if they look at it the day before, they know what they're going to be eating, what they're going to be doing, and there's some element of preparation. They've asked me the questions, etc. Okay? If you open it up on the day and you just don't happen to have the food in the fridge, then obviously you're going to do yourself a disservice. So go through it, open it up, go through it with a fine tooth comb, take a pen to paper, map out what you're going to eat. Get into the group, okay? I'll get you into the group if you personal message me in FB Messenger, and I'll give you tons of meal suggestions. So if you're thinking, I don't know what to have, no, not on WhatsApp. I'm not on WhatsApp. My WhatsApp's not working. You need to personal message me in FB Messenger. Just download the Messenger app in the App Store. It's free to do. You don't need to have FB, and you can just personal message me in there. A moody pigeon, I like that name. How do I get the 5-day reset? You get it up here, tap my face, brings me up halfway, double tap to go out. You'll see my main profile and my web page. Tap on my web page. You're going to see like a paper clip and it says LINK. That's my web page. Tap on it. The first option is the free guide. The second option is the 5-day reset. It's £22. It goes right to your inbox. Pat, I'm not sure why you're still searching. I think I'm probably doing everyone's head in. I've said it about 1 million times, but it's very straightforward. It's just that it's really small. So Pat, maybe that's why you can't see it. I don't know why they make it so small. You literally just tap my face here, brings me up halfway, press my face twice. It will take you out. Okay, you will still hear me talking. You'll see my face, you'll see some information, and you'll see a ton of my videos, like all my reels, right? In between, there's some wordage, there's some verbiage. Okay, and there's a little paper clip and it says LINK. It's tiny. Tap on there. That's going to open up my webpage. Okay, I'm going to go. Thank you for joining me. I'm live on here every day, by the way, for those of you that don't know. So if you want to join me again tomorrow morning, you're more than welcome. I get on here every single day, 7 days a week, sharing with you my tips, my tricks, and all the things and answering your questions. And yeah, I will see you guys.
Komentare odoše svi. Puno puta. Jer neće ljudi, čini ne mogu pisat, odoše.
Maja. A nije većina dole što kaže ono međusobno imaju protivnike, pa onda oni sa komentarima ubiše dole.
Jest. Šta ću ja s Milančetom naprazno da pričam, to isto kao da sam sjeo s njim na kafu. Ja ne bi nikad sjeo s njim na kafu.
Ma sigurno.
Jer ako nema dole ljudi koji će slušati te argumente, onda što ću debatovati?
Pa jest, tu si pravo.
Gulsom, ja sam ovdje 4 godine. Debatovao sam, ja mislim, sa svakom mrakom i sektom ovi koji se pripisuju islamu ovdje. Sa mu'tezilama, sa šijama, sa kuranijama, sa maturidijama, sa ešarijama, sa kaderijama, sa šijama, nema s kim nisam debatovao. I primarno debatujem sa kršćanima. I nema novotara na kojeg nisam upozorio. Ja odmah klip snimim i upozorim na svakog koji se pojavi od njihovih šejhova, na primjer. I ja sam zbog toga na TikToku. Samo zbog toga. Samo zbog suzbijanja tih sektaških vjerovanja i pozivanja ljudi u islam. Da nema toga, ja bi odšao s TikToka. Šta ću? Ne bi vidio svrhu u tome. I kaže Ibn Tejmije, kaže, bolje je, kaže, sat vremena borbe protiv novotara nego, kaže, čitava noć ibadeta.
Ma sigurno. Ne, pa ja se zalažem, vidi, treba da imaju ljudi koji to sestra napisala, ne voli debatu. Treba debatu voditi baš radi takije ko što je recimo Milanče i ostali recimo što gaze našu vjeru ili probaju da je gaze. Recimo da im se suprotno dokaže. Jeli ne možeš ti sve izbjegavati, što kaže i elhamdulillah, što kaže ima braće koji jesu za debatu. Ne kažem ja sad koji nema znanje ili nije za debatu, ne treba sa njima u debatu, što kaže baš da ulazi da ne bi na osnovu moga neznanja recimo da ne bi ponizio našu vjeru recimo.
Da.
Kroz mene, kroz moje neznanje primjera.
Oni baš
Ona
toga...
braća koji imaju, pa bravo. A sada kad bi mi izbjegavali svi što kaže svaku debatu, sve recimo što kaže to, pa zamisli šta bi ovdje bilo na TikToku. Kako bi se oni ponašali?
Ma 100%. Pa ne psujem ja, uopšte ne psujem. Ne znam da sam nekad opsuo nekom nešto. Znam biti sarkastičan, ali da psujem ne.
Ma sigurno, što kaže, sa lijepim lakom ima potrebe za psom.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.
Alaikum selam.
Jel znaš kako, legenda, oni psuju koji nemaju znanja. Ti kad on ne zna šta da ti odgovori, onda počne da psuje, što kaže i...
Pa da.
Ima hadis od poslanika Muhameda sallallahu alejhi ve sellem, kaže vjernik, pa dvije tačke. Ne psuje, ne proklinje, ne vređa, ne uveličava, ne potvara, ne izmišlja, ne laže i još itd. Znači, onaj ko sebe smatra vjernikom ne smije ovo raditi. Da li je to u pitanju hrišćanin, novotar, ovako, lijevo, desno, znači ti ukaži na lijep način greške. Mada nekad svi mi izgubimo kontrolu. Ja sam sinoć zakuvao sa mušinom i hajde neka vidlo. Ali on umiki on live ponovo tamo da leži. I sve mu ista priča, ista mantra. Hajde, eto, da se muslimani ne svađaju, da se napravi taj heki halal, nije bitno muslimani su ali on ponovo isto to radi kod Mikija i još gore tamo budaleši.
Jašte. Ali kad se pojavile šije prvi put, od napada na Gazu, oni su se tad pojavili u javnosti. I ja sam prvi put čuo gadosti koje oni iznose. Znači, prvi put se susrećem s tim. Donose hadise pa dokazuju da je Iša radijallahu anha lažljivica. Pa da je Ebu Hureyre bio isto lažov, da ga je bičuo Omer. Pa ne znam, tako te gnusne stvari, znači, ja sam se to jedva suzdržavao da ne psujem, vjeruješ mi, znači, jedva sam se suzdržavao da ne psujem. Jer to su baš...
I ne priznaju Ebu Bekra, Omera.
Proklinju ga, proklinju tekfire, znaš, ja pitam, jel ti proklinješ Ebu Bekra, kaže, ja ne proklinjem muslimane. Rekao, ne pitam te za muslimane, pitam te za Ebu Bekra, on šuti, znaš. Sve govori, ja nisam šija.
Pa evo neko veče je legenda, baš jedan šije govorio, kaže, vidi se, kaže, da smo mi jedini, kaže, muslimani, šije, kaže, koji Gazu kao brani. Pa ne branite vi Gazu, vi, što kaže šije, to imaju svoj interes politički, pa što nisu preuzeli prije, sad što kaže, kad je tamo tamani i danas dan, što kaže, i ubijaju. Razumiješ?
Ništa, oni nisu ni uradili u suštini, oni su samo, taj Hamas je podstako Izrael da pobija te ljude. I ništa, pogledaj bilo koji snimak iz Gaze gdje su one ruševine, nećeš vidjeti ni jednog vojnika.
Pa nema, brate, ja sam slušao, u mene šef, on ima jednog prijatelja, to je u politici kao on je ministar unutrašnjih, ja mislim, poslova, ako ne griješim, to je školski prijatelj. Sad Allah da mi oprosti. On tvrdi, kaže, da su Israelci, kaže, Hamas plaćali, kaže, da su ih financirali, pazi.
Vjerujem mi da je to istina.
I kaže, pazi, oni su, kaže, dogovoru, kaže, gađaju raketama, kaže, ili napadaju tamo nenaseljena mjesta ili manje nenaseljena, da bi Israelci imali razlog da, znači, bombarduju Gazu. Kaže, to je sve, kaže, iz dogovora.
Ja sam snimio klip, znači prije godinu dana, bukvalno sam to rekao u klipu.
Čovjek mi baš tako priča, znači. Kaže i normalno, kaže i oni se šire i šire. Sad evo vidi ovo, sada što mi govorimo, pa u Egiptu što kaže na čelu što kaže nije musliman. Jer su oni svrnuli onoga muslimana, što kaže kralja, kako se ono zvao? Bravo.
Svrnuli Sadama Huseina, sve su postavili svoje ljude, sve.
Jeste.
Nema ko da se odazove da brani. A Iran je ubio 6,8 miliona muslimana u zadnjih 40 godina. 6,8 miliona muslimana.
Bravo. I čovjek mi priča, ja stao i gledam, razumiješ, ne mogu vjerovati. Jel nije to sve ovo što nama prikazuju, što ti kažeš onim ruševina, pa gdje je bio jedan Hamas? Pa sve vidim sirotinja, narod, žene, djeca, starci, što kaže sirotinja.
Oni su ko fol uletili u početku, ko fol kidnapovali 100 Židova. I niđe ih. I oni su na račun toga pobijali 100.000 ljudi. I ti sad kad bi htio ko obični čovjek da uđeš u Gazu, da ih braniš, oni ti ne daju ući. Ima 60.000 militanata ovih Arapa koji rade za izraelske obavještajne službe, znači naoružani ljudi koji čuvaju znači granice. I da ne može niko, Arapi, da ne može niko ući. Imaš 1 milion Palestinaca koji žive legitimno u Izraelu i bore se u njihovoj vojsci. 1 milion.
A dosta koji je šta ovako
ne znamo. A jeste mi primijetili jednu stvar u live-ovima? Jeste primijetili jednu vi stvar? Dajte sad ovu. Koliko god njih, makar bili u suprotnim stranama, gledaj sad ovo, Jehovi svjedoci, šije, novotari, sufije, kogod da je u live-u, svi će se udružiti, makar se oni ne voli protiv ispravnog vjerovanja. Svi će se udružiti.
Pa nevjernici su jedan umet.
Čak će taj Bajram pričati, bit će na strani bilo koga, samo će svi udati na pravu vjeru, na pravi islam. Svi.
Tako je.
Eto, samo posmatrajte. A ne voli se već sebe. Ne voli, ali će svi stati zajedno.
100%. Evo i Maturidije, koje mi ne tekfirimo, smatramo ih muslimanima. Počeli su biti agresivni. I kaže, vi ste, kaže, genocidaši, pripadnici rigidne ideologije i takve riječi. I uvijek staju na stranu šija protiv selefija. Uvijek. A mi klanjamo s njima u džamijama zajedno. Volimo ih. Ali to su pojedinci, znaš, nije stav većine, to su pojedinci kao što je onaj.
Abdu,
Maja.
Ja sam jučer rekao mušinu u oči, znači u tebe je izgovor Abdu Vehab što mrziš Salafije i Sunet. On mrzi, to sam rekao njemu u oči, on mrzi Sunet, a izgovor mi je Abdu Vehab, koji nema veze sa Sunetom.
Tako je, pa to sam mu ja rekao. Ali sreća, pa su takvi u manjini, da su u većini, sad bi nas, fatali bi nas po ulici, ubijali bi nas.
Pa ubijali bi nas oni prvi, šta ti je?
100%, ja ti garantujem da je to.
Njegova se mržnja vidi na njegovom govoru, a on mi šta još u duši krije, šta još kakav je unutra. Znači ti vidiš kako mrzi Pezića, Kuzovića, mrzi, imam osjećaj da on kad uđe u džamiju, osjeti se to njegovom izražavanju, da on mrzi ljude s bradom, ljudi koji praktikuju sunet, koji klanje 2 reketa tehijetu mežida, koji dižu ruke, on to preziri.
Ja mu samo govorim da Bog da ti Allah dao punu kuću vehabija. I uvijek mu to kažem. I to mu je najgora klitva. Tako, da Bog da ti puna kuća bila vehabija, kako god vidiš.
Ali ja ne razumijem, koju ima on korist od tog svega što sebi samo Allahovo prokletstvo tovari na leđa. Što mu treba da ga Allah proklete? A mi znamo po hadisu, muslimom hadisu stoji da je Allah proklet novotara i onaj koji brani novotariju. On to radi. I on izaziva Allahovo prokletstvo na sebe.
Meni je on čudan mi je, jer nije on bio takav. Evo dole, nije bio takav. I to je nešto u zadnje vrijeme. Ne znam šta je to.
Da mu nije ko šta odbraće, možda mu neko žensku digo odbraće, možda mu je neko nešto, ne znam.
Ma nije, pa će mu dići na 50 godina. Ne znam.
Ne, halalte, ja ne znam njega od prije, ali čuo sam stvarno da je drugačiji bio, kaže, prije, na početku. Sad ne znam opet.
Ili je i
Je
on
bio tog
tukiju
stava.
koristi koji ove njegova braća ove šije, ili
Moguće.
haj ga zna. Pa to je tukiju, pa evo ovi tekfirovci. I oni počeli tukiju koristiti, ba. Znači, ja znam da naš čovjek tekfir, svi smo za njega mušici, ali on sjedi kod nas u lajvu, nazove nam selam, smješka se. Čudno, ba. Čudno, nije mi bilo poznato da su...
Ja ne znam zašto nekom treba nešto što more bez toga. Što ti treba to? Što ti treba da mrzi, ne znam, ja ne mogu te shvatiti kako. Ne mogu ja to shvatiti.
Vallahi, ja volim svakog ovog čovjeka što klanja u džamiji, znači svakog od njih volim. I nikad ne bi ništa pričao protiv njih, mislim, ali izgleda da oni nas ne vole. Kako god sagledaš, ne voli.
Tako je, pa ja sam u džamatu non stop. S ljudima se pazim, ljude poštujem starije, naše djedove, nane, poštujem, volim im, na usluzicama, komšiluk, ize, plaćam članarinu, sve to radim.
Ja, sve to.
Ali ja kad čujem kako on udara čovječe na ljude koji se trude da budu bolji vjernici, da zaživi sunet onako kako treba, on na te ljude udara. To meni ide na živce.
Jest, pa ja isto klanjam ovdje u svojoj džamiji, isto tako članarinu plaćam, sve. Ali ja vidim da mene ti ljudi u džamiji ne vole. Ne vole me zato što ja čim uđem u džamiju klanjam 2 rekata, njima je to čudno.
A neka, brate, što god te više blate, to je bolje za tebe. Hajde, nek te čiste malo.
Ali žao me i njih iz neznanja pribacivaju svoja dobra djela meni. Mislim, ne želim to.
Rakson, nažalost, to je bilo i bit će, što kaže, najviše, nažalost, to je 90%, to ljudi rade iz neznanja. Znaš kako, ja sam dobar s tobom, dobar sa legendom, recimo, i sada ja ne znam neznanje, imam to, i što kaže, ja tebe, što kaže, kako ti rekao, branim, uzvasam, pazi, da li vi bili u pravu, nešto god vi kažete, ja vjerujem da je to tako i to je to. I nažalost, to je većina nas takije, što kaže, jer ljudi ne vole da čitaju. Ne vole da čitaju, što kaže, ne zanima.
Ljudi neće propise, našto me kvakala, ljudi neće propise onake kako je donio poslanik Muhammed sallallahu alejhi ve sellem, kako on radio, jer to su malo, slušaj, sunetom je to je disciplina u vjerovanju. Nego ljudima je nekako da bude uvjeri, a da more nešto raditi kako hoće.
A znaš što sam primijetio?
Ljudi ne žele biti disciplinovani vjernici, disciplini. U tome je problem.
Primijetio sam da najviše
da bude kako on hoće.
Primijetio sam da najviše šire tu mržnju ove seoske hođe. Ne gradske, nego seoske hođe. Ove koji su po selima raspoređeni. Najviše šire tu mržnju prema sunnetu.
Pa njima najviše i smetamo, brate.
Mora, znaš što je u mene, ja se baš slažemo ekstra dobro. I sa svima se slažem. Inače moj zinim dole. I nikad u 3 godine, 4 već, nikad nemam nikakvih problema. Mi smo se dogovorili kako ćemo. Imam i dijete, isto nekad mijenja, nekad mene, i nije nikakvi, znači ja sunet primjenjujem maksimalno, i nema, znači mi smo napravili sebi, znači ne ulazi ti u moje, ne ulazim ja u tvoje, ali sam ja primijetio da sam ja u zadnje 3-4 godine dole, nekako sam primijetio da ne treba puno stršiti ljudima, kako da kaže, primjenjuj sunet, ali nemoj da stršiš baš ono, da ivaš kod ljudi mržnju, u tom smislu. Budi malo fleksibilan, znaš, budi malo blag, mehak. Kad uđeš u džamiju, poselami se sa starijim ljudima, dadi im poštovanje, moraš ti pokazati ljudima islam da je to blaga vjera, da si ti blag, da ti nisi ono nastrup, sad dolaziš pa ti se sakoračiš, pa ti sad ono glumiš nekog velikog vjera. Znaš, ljudi to ne voli. Moraš biti fleksibilan.
Zato ja svakako se pridržavam toga, ali evo ja sam...
Nemoj biti grub.
Raksone, ne trebamo...
Grubost odbija ljude.
Bravo. Pa evo ti ja kad uđem u džamiju, recimo gdje neki, što kaže, klanjaju 4 prsta, recimo stave ono između nogu i vidim ako su, što kaže, pretežno svi, i ja stanem tako. Vidim uđem gdje su malo šire, što kaže ono 5 uz 5, raširim i ja. Ali ne treba u tome i o tome mi da raspravljamo. To je nama najmanji problem što bi trebalo.
Tako je, nemoj strčiti, nemoj izazivati.
A šta je meni?
Nemoj provocirati svojim ponašanjem, budi normalno.
A ima braće isto, znaš kako dođe tamo gdje su, evo ti ovi naše, recimo što kaže, bošnje, da ne kažem drugačije, gdje klanjaju normalno nekako 4 prsta, navikli tako što u njega djedo klanju ovo ono, i sada ja dođem i raširim, pošto neki to dođe, raširi noge šire od ramena, raširi se baš nešto, a to je pogrešno.
To je suprotno propisu, to se ne radi tako. Znači,
bravo, ali ima, brate, vjeruj mi da sam bio,
preče su ramena sasane nego noge.
Pa brate, ali hoću da kažem da ima, nažalost,
ima i koji su grubi.
Grubi, što su malo škaj, ne treba na taj način. Šta meni fali ako vidim da 4 prsta ljudi drže, pa stanem i ja uz njega, kaže rame uz rame 4 prsta, ako vidim da braća...
Allah zna tvoj nijet, Allah zna tvoj nijet.
Ako vidim što kaže braća, da što kaže ono 5 uspe...
To se dešava Selime osobama koje su tek uhvatile islam pravo, primjenjuju prvu godinu i onda oni, znaš, ono, kao kad raketa ide prema gore, pa on se napuni imanom i on, znaš, a poslije to malo, ti poslije 5-6 godina postaneš malo mudriji, lukaviji, pametniji, znaš, nema je to malo.
Pa sigurno, i šta meni fali, znači kad vidim normalno, evo kod kuće ja recimo raširim noge u širini ramena, otprilike lakše, imam 110 kila, a pazi, ispravno jedno i drugo. Jedno i drugo nije te bitan, znači, ne bi mi trebali o tome da se raspravljamo, ali eto.
Nema ba uopšte propis koliko ćeš ti raširiti noge, znači ti možeš ne raširiti nikako ako je gužva u safu da zbiješ saf, a možeš ako je komotnije da se malo više raskomotiš, to je to, bitno je.
Tako je, samo treba biti fleksibilan, svaki fleksibilan.
Ali eto, ljudi to shvataju pogrešno jer imaš